So my goal is not to sell. My goal is keep raising and finding leaders. There's another model that is probably profitable.
John C. Maxwell said a leader is someone who raises other leaders also. Sometimes you meet a person and they think that being a leader is he's the tallest, the prettiest, the most handsome, the most muscular, make the most money. I don't find those people make the best leaders also.
So I find that the social skill now in current times is face-to-face. And I think that the current skill is the skill of speaking, a skill of influencing people through words.
So it's either they have a skewed version of what leadership is, or they have no definition of what a leader is also. So then when they don't have it, they become like a crying shoulder or a best friend. A best friend is not a leader.
So there's a very distinctive line that we need to put on.
Yes.
So we want to function as the coach and the mentor and hopefully become a friend, but not as a friend first.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mel right here. I'm starting this new podcast series where I bring some amazing, accomplished, successful financial services directors, leaders, and I really interview and ask them exactly all the questions that you have as a leader. So about recruitment, about specifically, do I do sales? How do I find great people? What if people leave me? How do I bring out the best in people? Specifically, how do I deal with challenges within my team also? And I'm going to interview a lot of these amazing people with only one intention. The intention is to add value to you guys. I coach a lot of financial services directors and leaders these days. I realize I do not have the bandwidth, the capacity to coach everybody. So I decided to start one of these podcast series where I will share some of the experiences I have. I'll bring in some amazing people with the intent so that you, your team can be really successful also. So today we got Raymond. And Raymond is our first guest. Thank you so much for
coming. Thank you. Thanks, Melvin. Yeah, appreciate.
Raymond, I wanted to kind of do a run through of the things that you have accomplished, but I thought, why not you run through also, because we had a quick chat, and of course I've heard of you, David, before. I know you coach a lot of leaders these days, and you're doing such a great job in sharing your 20 plus years experience with them. So why not you just very briefly walk us through, how do you start out? You know, all the way from an agent, all the way to being a leader, and all the way to today coaching leaders also.
I started the business when I was 23 years ago, when I was 24 years old. So after 2 years of sales, I decided to venture into management. So I was only in sales for about 2 years. But the early onset of me moving into management have a lot of rewards. Because now 99% of my income forms by overriding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is, I think, is a more long-term, more sustainable arrangement. At the same time, this management journey, I would say, is more enjoyable because my main role is to serve my agents and also my managers, which I largely will not rely on clients itself. Correct. Yeah.
So this has been a very long and just very long journey. So you only did sales for 2 years at the front.
Yes, correct.
So that would mean that after you did 2 years at the front, you managed to bring in someone.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Wow, okay. So how was that process like? How specifically do you bring?
So after 2 years, I decided to venture into management. So interestingly, at the Chinese New Year event, two of my clients asked me, am I recruiting? So I was like thinking like, why won't I just explore the management route? But in the early onset of management, I was clueless because there was no much mentoring. There was no course in management. So a lot of courses and programs that's in the industry are mainly for advisors.
Yeah, and they are mainly for sales.
Yes, correct. Mainly for sales, mainly for advisors.
Yeah,
correct.
But I want to talk about one of the things that I've kind of noticed also. So I kind of stumbled into this industry because, I was teaching adults, I was teaching entrepreneurship. I do I was teaching marketing, etc. And it all started with my dear friend, shout out to him, Kevin Goh, who asked me from Odyssey, AIA, thanks for getting me started into this entire thing. So I find myself many years later wondering, hey, how the heck did you start training FSDs and sales leaders? But I think having worked with so many of these people before, I kind of realized that there's a huge difference between being a really good salesperson and being a leader. And I realized in this industry, there are a lot of people who are great salespeople. And a great salesperson is usually someone who's focused on their goals, they're ambitious, sometimes even a bit self-centered. And because they do well, then they start to get promoted, and now they have to be a leader. But being a good salesman and being a leader is very different. Will you say that's true?
Yes. In my terms, I always call, are you an agent that happened to become a manager? Or are you a manager that happened to become an agent? So there's a huge difference because someone with a leadership mindset will wake up with recruitment, coaching, and mentoring. Someone with more sales mentality will wake up searching for clients.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is how I differentiate the arrangement.
And I realize that a lot of training in the industry, as you mentioned just now, is geared towards how to sell.
Correct.
Not a lot about leadership. And so the whole issue is a lot of people don't know about leadership. So as I coach a lot of people, I realize that a lot of people don't know about leadership because maybe in school, they never had a leadership position, or they never experienced leadership before, or they just haven't been a leader before.
So yeah, true. I think Melvin, about 9-10 years ago, I ventured into understanding about leadership and especially about agency management leadership.
Yeah.
So it was a huge difference because having clarity and certainty in running this as an organization set myself in a very different way of thinking. The process will be about who should be marked as a leader and what is the roles, the organization structure that I need to form. So that compelled me to think more like a organization leader rather than an agent itself.
So what was the shift? So let's talk about this thing, right? Because you've been running as a leader, now coaching leaders for a while. And it certainly took a shift or so. So the first question is, what was the shift? And second of all, like, have you been a leader before? Because the day someone joined you, right? Then now they look at you and say, Raymond, you're now my leader. Like, what should I do? Then you're like, oh, actually, I don't know. Have I ever been a leader before? I don't know what to do. They never prepared me to be in this role. So what was the shift? And like, have you been a leader? What was it like for your first
I just talk about probably the onset of being a leader. Because most of us, we are a leader because we are productive in sales.
Yeah.
But we may not excel in leadership qualities. So example, we often promote in our industry based on qualifications and productivity.
Yeah.
But many of us are not ready to manage people. Because managing people require a lot of skill. Example, EQ skill, people understanding about each people's strengths and weaknesses. Which later I'll talk about recruitment will be about selection.
Yeah, and on that note about people's skills, right? Just because you can sell, because some people think selling is people's skills as well. Just because you can sell doesn't mean you can lead and coach and manage people.
Yes, correct. Yeah, because convince someone to buy an insurance policy, probably about $500 a month, that will be about 10% of the person's pay. But if you were to convince someone to quit a $5,000 job, it requires so much more effort.
Yeah.
And especially what's the onset after that, what will be your mentoring and coaching style that is suitable for each other. So this is where the huge differences is.
And how did you have to bridge the gap? Like at the start, right? So you recruited people already, then maybe ask yourself, actually I don't know what to do. So what was that learning process like? What did you learn? What were some of the mistakes?
So at the start, my leadership forms a lot about role model leadership. That means about I do, they follow. I do, they follow. But many times, many people who join the industry and join our team are very different from us. So that's where, example, I'm a extrovert by nature. I can talk to anyone. I can do prospecting without script. But doesn't mean all my team members can do prospecting without script. So a lot of people, they need structure, they need discipline, they need understanding, they need expertise like you, example, about how to handle objection, how to handle a lot of pre-scripting arrangements, how you create the hooks. So for me, I do not know that. So when I started recruiting, I frustrate a lot of people that is very different from me. Yeah, so that's where I find myself, am I a good leader? So I keep failing. That means only about 10-20% of the people that I started recruit do well. But actually now when I think back, when I have all this structure, these organization systems and stuff, it actually be able to help many people that is very different from me.
Then let's talk about it. Like, so at what point of time did you realize that this free flow method is not really working? 80% of the people are not learning, and I have to create a system.
I think after about 7 to 10 years of management. So I always tell a joke to some of my peers, we are just like firefighters. Every day we are firefighting. Because A will not like B, B will not like C, and then A can work with C but not with B.
Oh my God.
So then you see there's a lot of struggles in terms of people management, and especially if you are not firm, you are not clear about what's the system and the structure that works. Yeah, and in today's time, lead gen is actually a challenge. So a lot of agencies are not focusing on lead genning. A lot of agencies are not coaching their agents to speak. So there's a lot of shortfall. So I always ask myself is what is going to be the skill of the future that's supposed for us to hand down to our organization.
Let's break down what you just said bit by bit, right? So the first one is you need to be clear. How important is it to have a clear direction, clear vision, clear goal, clarity as leader for your organization?
Definitely. Because if you are not clear, you will probably be able to build agencies for about 2-3 years. Then after that, if you are not ready to raise leaders, you will see that the challenge will be there. Because you will be bottom heavy, but then top light. Then that's where running the organization is going to be challenged.
Yes, because basically everyone you got a lot of followers, but you got no one.
Correct. You have a lot of followers, but you have no leaders to run the organization, because to run a big organization like us, 100 over people, you need strong leaders. If you don't have strong leaders, you are not able to command a huge bunch of people working together, because you have tons of followers waiting for you to make decisions.
Waiting, that's the answer.
Yeah.
There's waiting. No one take initiative.
Yes. So the level of initiative, the level of problem solving, the level of intuition arrangement will be very low. And that's where running agencies is frustrating.
Then let's backtrack a little bit, right? Before we talk about raising leaders and a whole bunch of other things you just talk about. How does a new leader, because you see many of these people who find themselves as managers and leaders, they are there because they can sell. And, they came in this industry and they thought that, all I need to do is to sell, right? Salary, good things happen to me. Then suddenly they're put in a leadership position. Then they're also like, I've never been a leader. What is leadership? Then they think back to their school time. They're like, being a leader must be, you're tall, you're big, you're loud, maybe you're the most skillful, you make the most money. Then the next one, you ask them about clarity also. Then you're like, I also don't know. So where exactly did you learn about, what is leadership, how to find clarity? Because it's like, all of these people just kind of join you now and say, hey, boss, so we go where? They say, hey, shit, I also don't know. Right? Where do you find the definition of leadership? Where do you find clarity when you first start?
My first onset of clarity about building business is many years ago. I attended some series of programs by Anthony Robbins. It's called Wealth Mastery. So that was back in year 2004. The last 10 to 12 years, I have 3 mentors. All 3 of them are very dear to me. 2 of them are in the industry. One of them is my church leader. So my church leader amazingly shared with me how I deal with people day to day, although they have not run any organization in sales. But my 2 industry leaders give me more on-site about experience, about what are the departments that we should really run and the way of how we should mentor our people. Because managing people and coaching and mentoring are very different. If I add in another C word, then that's where counseling. So So I don't know, Melvin, whether you have this onset experience. A lot of people, managers are thinking that you are coaching your people, but most of the time you are counseling your people.
Oh my God, let's break it down. Let's break it down. Now, I've not led a financial services agency before, but I've coached a lot of leaders before, and I laugh because actually, you have to do that. So let's break it down. There's managing.
Yes.
There's coaching, training, and possibly leading, and there's counseling. These 3 buckets, what's the difference?
Counseling is a lot about talking about the past. Counseling is a lot about talking about problems.
Some people, boyfriend left got this issue the issue they feel sad cannot wake up
So I find if you are running a sales organization and also an insurance agency, and if you are day-to-day basis, you are doing a lot of counseling, you are in the wrong setting. The people that you select are also in the wrong setting, because coaching is about talking about the future and talking about solutions. So there's a metrics when I train and coach my leaders, is I give them clarity about the 4 domains or which sector they are. Because if the conversation surround counseling, then it is not right, especially in a prolonged period of time. But we should get towards coaching. Coaching is always about future. Example, FC will come to you, I want to do COT, do TOT. I want to move out to management. This is coaching topics. But the counseling topic is that I think I cannot do prospecting. I think I have a lot of challenges. So they are always talking about the past, which I think we will not progress from there. So by this onset on how the person reply already determine how far the agent can go.
Let's ask a very obvious question also. So I think selection of who joins you is very important.
Yes.
Is it possible, but even before we discuss that, which is what kind of people you want to filter for and what kind of people you don't want to filter for to recruit, is it possible to make every agent successful?
I don't think so.
That's what I
don't think so. Even if it is, certain people will take too long a time, which I think in agency management, largely based on commission and overriding, we won't be able to last so long. We won't be able, especially junior managers, we have less than 10 agents and having a very low percentage of overriding. How can you afford to mentor someone 3 years, 5 years, then to get the income?
Oh, wow.
Really, it's not possible. Yeah, I don't know, Melvin, you and I, we run businesses, right? Imagine we can't get profits in 3 to 5 years. How much money we need to sunk in?
No, you not only cannot get profits, you're also investing time and energy.
Yes. Yes. So
with a question mark also. It's not even like, it's like a delayed kind of thing. It will unlock in 7 years. Actually, you never know. Maybe never unlock. It's a possibility also, right? What kind of qualities you look for in a recruit?
There's two main qualities. Over the years, I attended so many sales conference and also mindset breakthrough session. Number one is the ability to take rejection. That means salesperson who really want to do well must have a very unique arrangement. That means they are able to take rejection on a large scale. That means they feel that the more rejection they get, they will get better and better. That means I'm going to prove the people to reject me wrong. So this is one of core quality of a top salesperson or a person that will perform above average. Second is the desire to succeed. Yeah. So many of us who actually have agents that fail over the years, first, they don't even have a desire to do well themselves, not even inside the career. So, example, they are not looking for more in their life. They are not looking for a better quality of life. They are not looking for a desire to grow themselves. They are not wanting to improve in all areas of their life. They want, but they don't have this strong desire. So, if they lack either or they lack both, is the worst. So then you find that it's very challenging to really coach and mentor this person. And this can be fact-find through probably one or two set of interviews with a right set of interview questions.
Let's talk a little bit about desire. Do you think they come in first with desire, or the desire is activated after they come in? Or this is chicken and egg question.
Yeah, I think they come in with desire first.
That's what I suspect also.
Yes.
That's what I suspect.
Yeah.
Because a person with desire, like I always believe that skill can teach. But the character desire, right, that you must come in with that.
Yeah, if you have no desire to become a champion, you will never be champion. You never desire to win a medal, you will never win a medal.
And you can just tell like, if the person has like desire.
Yes, you can feel it. They call it the fire in the belly.
Yeah, like, and it doesn't matter what they have or have not accomplished in life before. You can just feel like they want it more than other people. They might not speak the best English. They might not be the most charismatic. They might not even be the most like academically intelligent. But they're just willing to come a bit earlier and they're just willing to stay a bit later, ask more questions.
Yes, so they are usually the more hardworking people. They are usually the people that don't say no. Usually with past records, they will have certain aspects of success. Example, they will probably excel in school. They will probably excel in certain sports that they played previously. So they have this winning mentality. So this winning mentality is sad to say, it's very hard to be coached and trained.
Yeah. That's why I think sometimes people like to find people that have like, won in other areas of life. That's why sometimes if we zoom out from just talking about financial services, sometimes some of the sports people, when they carry that same mentality to start a business, then they're successful. Because what made them successful in sports makes them, they carry over to business.
True. Yeah, I perfectly agree to that statement.
What are some of the ways that you can spot whether a person got desire? Because everybody will sit down and tell you they got desire one, right? I think that's the funniest thing. So you sit down with a guy, no one will say, hey, sorry, Raymond, I know desire. And maybe have, that'll be a small minority. Everyone swears they got desire until you bring them in and you're like, hey, wait a minute, what you say versus what you do. Very huge difference. I thought you meet me at Coffee Bean, you tell me you got a lot of desire, and I ask you stay a bit later, work on a weekend, sorry, this one cannot, that one cannot, here pain, there pain. Have you met people like that before?
So I would say that one large part will always be determined about giving them scenario basis or asking them about past events that happened before in their life. Example, can you name one or two challenges that you had in their life that you have overcome? Then some of them, they can answer. I answer, wow, is this a challenge first to start? Then they find that then the quality of their overcoming is really not great compared to someone who say that, maybe my parents do not really fund my education. From young, I started schooling myself and stuff. Then you feel that, wow, they have this tenacity. Like you, right? I think, is it your story?
Bro, I got a lot, bro. There is no place too far, nothing legal, moral, ethical, right? That's really critical. But if it's legal, moral, ethical, then I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I've been to wherever, whatever, whoever, like whatever needs to be done will be done. Like doesn't matter what time, where, So you can just feel you can feel like, okay, I think.
You can feel, yeah. And then the next one will be how they show up. That means, are they on time? Are they hardworking? If you ask them to do 10 calls, will they do 12 or 15?
Oh man, yeah.
I know some fantastic gym instructors who work with tremendous athletes. itself, they push beyond the boundaries. So a lot of times it's about whether this person is willing to push and then able to come back again. That means the more you score them, the more they can turn up again.
Oh my God.
That's the that is the quality of a top salesperson.
Yeah, because I also have the exact same thing. When you mentioned the word scenario, I was like 100% agree, because I think as a person that hires for my own business also, I sometimes find like questioning interviews not very effective, because no one, it's almost like, in the school, when I dropped out SMU, right? But I know a lot of friends that stay on also. In school, they even teach you how to ace the interview. So basically, I smoke you, you smoke me. Like, you ask question, and the guy has already been well trained to answer nobody ever tells you, sorry, bro, I'm very lazy. Actually, I quit at the first rejection. They all tell you, no problem, man, I'll push all the way until it comes time to do it. And that's when you get to learn. So I think scenario based is the best way
correct. And whether can they justify the outcome with a reason that you can accept. Because sometimes they cannot even describe the outcome. And even if they describe the outcome, they cannot give you a reason that you can accept. Because the reason will back up the action. Then the other 50% will really determine on how they show up. The next 3 to 6 months. I always tell some of my agents or my staff, would you hire yourself for $1 million?
Oh, wow.
Would you hire yourself for $500,000? If you wouldn't even hire yourself for $500,000 or $1 million, you will never make $500,000 to $1 million. I don't know whether you agree to that.
I super agree also. I super agree. I mean, sometimes when back in the past life, when I was never helping out people who were involved in relationship and dating coaching, some people ask the question, will you date yourself? Some people say no. Like, actually, no. Actually, see, that's the problem. See, you wouldn't date yourself. No wonder all these people reject you also, because they see the same thing. It's the same reason why you say no. So if you wouldn't even hire yourself or be proud to have yourself in the team, then I guess that's why.
Yeah, it's true. Because if you won't pay yourself, you won't hire yourself for $500,000. If you feel that you're not worth that, in terms of mindset and also the way you work hard, you will never make $500,000.
Yeah, because other people will see the same thing also.
Correct, other people will see the same thing. So then they will feel that you are not worth that. I tell myself I'm worth a multi-million dollars. So that is the mindset that we need to have. In terms of the tenacity, because many at times a lot of agents who work about 8 to 10 hours a day, they make 100 to 200,000. They can't break through. They can't break through to that $500,000, $1 million income because their mindset have not shifted. So only when the mindset have shifted themselves, then that's where growth will come. Yeah, maybe I add on something that will really value add the viewers here is a lot of us are in this career, we are self-employed.
Yeah.
We have not moved into entrepreneurship.
Let's talk about that. Oh my God.
The day you hire staff, the day you are willing to pay for something, then that's where the entrepreneurship journey happens. So a lot of times, a lot of agents are stingy, not willing to invest into themselves, into coaching, into lead gen, into marketing courses, into mentoring, into people that is going much further and faster than you will never break through.
I think that is such a good point. For everyone watching, it's such a good point. You can tell whether a person is self-employed or entrepreneur by their willingness or unwillingness to invest.
Yes, correct. Because if not, then you are stuck at the highest form of self-employed.
Yes.
Highest form.
So it's super simple after you say this, and that's what I love, because I think it's so accurate. If you're not willing to invest, then you're not an entrepreneur. I say, I want to start a shop, but I don't want to pay rental, I don't want to renovate the shop, I don't want to hire people. Hey bro, then you're not an entrepreneur.
Yeah, then you will always be self-employed.
Yeah, you're just not, right? Because an entrepreneur is willing to invest. If you open just say a bubble tea shop, so you gotta hire staff, right? Then you gotta go and renovate the place, right? You gotta do all of these things, which means you gotta fork out first with the idea of, okay, when I fork out, I build all of these things, then later on I will get my return. But you say I don't want to fork out, then bro, I say you're not a business person.
So then the limitation will really set their maximum capping point.
Yeah, because the moment you are self-employed, then there's a cap. But the moment you think like an entrepreneur, I would argue if you do well, then there is no cap.
Understood. Yeah.
So that is such a good point. So let's come back to mindset in just a bit. Let's go back to the idea of clarity and leadership. So what's your definition of leadership? Because I feel maybe these days school is different. I don't suspect so, but not many people learn leadership from school. I mean, some people happen to learn it if they have been from MPCC, NCC, sports, and you had a great coach. Maybe they teach you about leadership. For some people, they were in the Interact Club, or like they didn't have a CCA, so they didn't understand what leadership is, and it's fine. But suddenly they are tossed in a position at 30 years old and be like, okay, cool. Now you manage 5-6 people. Go and lead them. Then they're like, What is leading? So what is your definition of leadership and how do people like become a leader?
I would say I draw a lot of leadership learning from John C. Maxwell. Books and courses I attended. Another person I learned a lot on mindset and some leadership is Jim Rohn.
Oh man,
the late Jim Rohn.
Oh my God, I love both of them.
Yeah, but I would to answer that question is to really learn leadership, especially in agency management. You need to understand what is your main two models of running. Example, clarity. So for me, I chose the overriding model, which is running large organization. That means as large as possible and as willing to spin out downlines. So my goal is not to sell. My goal is keep raising and finding leaders. There's another model that is probably profitable. 10 to 20 solid agents, but you continue to sell. That's where you will earn income from overriding, you will earn income from selling. But that long term is, to me, is still very time consuming. Because you still have to service clients, you still have to follow ups and stuff. So that is where. But for you to have clarity and also certainty about the business model, you must ask yourself, what is your personality trait? And to date now, a lot of them are not investing on social skills. We are social skill on behind a laptop or a keyboard. So I find that the social skill now in current times is face to face. Eyeball, body language. And I think that the current skill is the skill of speaking, a skill of influencing people through words. Interestingly, many people got scammed recently. Just through choice of words. But if you do it positively, it will do well in sales. With a right intention.
Just so many things you mentioned just now. Jim Rohn and John C. Maxwell. Just two people whose books I have a lot. I love them also. John C. Maxwell said a leader's definition of a leader, someone who raises other leaders also, which is very different than the traditional definition of a leader. So I want to bring it up also because the more I work with FSDs and I work with sales leaders, I realize that their definition is not there. It's either absent or it's a bit skewed. So skewed, right? Which means sometimes you meet a person and they think that being a leader is he's the tallest, the prettiest, the most handsome, the most muscular, make the most money. So I use my rank, my age, my experience, my wealth, my success to yak to ni. See, they look at me. I don't find those people make the best leaders also. So in football or in basketball, sometimes the person who scored the most points are not the best leader, but actually the most selfish. That's the first key. So it's either they have a skewed version of what leadership is, or they have no definition of what a leader is also. So then when they don't have it, they become a nanny, like a father or a mother, like a crying shoulder or a best friend. A best friend is not a leader. So these two are kind of interesting things that I've observed. So one side they try to mother their agents. I buy you gift lah, I hug you lah, or if you don't know, I do for you lah, right? Or another side, they are like, look at me, I'm so successful, right? It's all about that. I don't think these two are accurate definitions of leadership. Have you noticed this before? And what do you think?
Okay, I can share 2 points because I do a lot of research on leaders and especially in the financial industry and agency management. I feel that probably when I first started about 20 over years ago, it's a lot about authoritative leadership.
Yes.
Yeah, which is the heart, the discipline, the army style and stuff. But I find that in current times, it's a lot about collaborative leadership. That means you are a mentor or a senior.
What changed? What changed?
I find probably the way now content are being able to be available, and especially post-COVID, things have changed. And also the millennials itself. Because many at times the millennials and even the Gen Z, their parents can't manage them. What makes you think that you can manage them? Correct. So it's moving about into
and they're more like independent. They want to do their own thing.
Yeah. But at the same time, one interesting thing I always tell my associates, especially the junior one, you don't need another friend. You have probably made enough good friend before you're 21 or 25. You probably need a hard-ass manager like me. You probably need a good mentor like me.
Mentor, coach, someone that brings out the best in you.
So correct. I'm not going to be your friend. Because if 3 o'clock you quarrel your girlfriend, you better call your good friend. Don't call me. Tomorrow 9 o'clock you have a problem, come back to office. I will help you in our area of work. So there's a very distinctive line that we need to put on. So we want to function as the coach and the mentor and hopefully become a friend, but not as a friend first.
I think it's so...
So that jeopardizes, because the friendship jeopardizes the functionality of the work.
And I don't think it's just authoritative or the fact that, I'm just like more experienced and having that, rank or wealth, right? Because I think there might be a time where that was, people look up to that. But I think you're right, just times have changed. So people might say, man, this is not a definition of a leader. So at the same time, you don't want to be a mother or like a father to them where you take over everything that they have to do, or like be a best friend also. But that's also not a leader also. Leader, I think, is the one that gets the best out of them and be able to coach them, mentor them towards the success that they want.
Yes. Yeah. So I think being a strong leader sometimes is not there to please. You have to walk out of it, and you have to ask yourself, sometimes you have to be tough. And really, sometimes when the relationship is compromised, you must be willing to ask yourself, are you willing to compromise the friendship or the relationship just because you want the person to grow?
Wow. I think leadership is not easy. It's not about like being popular. To what degree would you agree?
Yeah, to a large extent. Yeah, because if everything do well, leaders are popular. But if everything don't do well, leaders are not.
It's important to have a close relationship, not like a friend relationship, but to have that relationship with your people, to talk to them, to understand their hopes, visions, fears, goals is important.
I feel that in long term it's important because you need to be relatable.
Yeah.
But sad to say, many of us in the industry when they're new, they don't pass more than 2 years. So to me, I find that associate that is more than 2 years in the business, it's wise for us to really, really sit down and get to know them more. Because this business is that cruel, especially when we all start with no salary. Yeah. No basic pay. It's all about commission. So most of us don't go beyond that 2 years. But after that, many times that if the associate can cross more than 2 years, it's good that we as
do
leaders,
decently well also.
Yes.
It's like, oh wow, you're still here. Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you still here?
So it's good that we actually be personal, relatable to them, so that they will feel more for you. They will feel more for the organization to work together with you.
Yeah, I think it's a balance. It's a balance between getting to know their goals, but at the same time being able to lead them also. So you're not like you're not like hanging out with them so much like you're getting drunk together, because that's like what their friends are supposed to do. But you don't want to be so distant and aloof to the degree you don't even know what their goals are. You talk to them once a year. I just don't think that then it's good. How are you going to bring out the best in them if you don't even know them?
Yes. Yeah. So there's a balance.
Let's talk apart from leadership. I hope this is useful because many people have like no idea when I sit down with them. Let's do one more question about this also. To what degree do you need to study what leadership? This is one of those like nature nurture questions. Is a leader born or is a leader built?
Contradictory to just now the sales question, sales people are more, I would say, born.
Yeah.
But leaders itself, I feel, can be nurtured, especially when they have the heart for the people. And many times, what Melvin said, a lot of top leaders are not top performers. Yeah, I've never done COT. I've never done TOT myself. I probably qualified MDRT for 3 times. Yeah, but I lead a large organization. But many times, if you are a leader, you should have more clarity about the people that you lead. You should have more clarity about where the future you want as an organization grows. So I believe that a leader can be groomed, can be nurtured. Yeah, but many times they have to have someone that is able to know and give them more insight.
I think that's where, the work that you do also on like an even bigger scale. So because like for all the people watching, I will shoot this interview, right? Because there's only so many people that I can think of. So that's why, David, right now, a lot of the work that you do is to coach the leaders on how to be a leader also. Because, how often do you see people that come in, they're great salespeople, but it's just like, they're just lost when it comes to management.
Yeah,
and leadership.
Correct. Because a lot of them did not venture in this area or topic.
Yeah, and then, just because you've been in the industry for 20 years and you can do plans and sell plans like really, really well doesn't mean that you can govern people really, really
very
well.
Different. It's very different. Leadership and sales is very, very different.
It's entirely different. Let's talk about the next one after the leadership part. Then when you build an organization, to what degree do you have to have a clear vision, communicated to people, clear values, what kind of people you want, etc., etc.? Is that very important to build a foundation also? And also the word culture. So is that really very important?
So you touched about the few C word, which is part of the mentoring program that is focused on. First is communication. Many leaders can't communicate well.
Well, how to fix by the way? This is how.
So they did not plan for their speeches. They do not plan for their communications.
Yeah.
So many at times, if you want to communicate well in long term in big organization, you must have a lot of meetings before the meetings.
Wow.
And many leaders are not willing to invest in that. They are not clear. Maybe they are not feeling that this is important. Because if in a meeting of 10, you can't even buy one person that is willing to support you, then you have no followers. Then you are dead. So there's in area of communication is huge. Second is then the second word is connect. Can you connect? Can you relate to the people? Can you feel them? Yeah. Then the next one is about whether do you have the charisma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, being a leader, I believe there's a lot of charisma you need to have. You need to be able to inspire. So many leaders who are productive themselves, but they are not able to inspire. They are not able to relate stories that is applicable to each stage of their agents. Because sometimes we are maybe at this level, we can't inspire these people. So we need to know how to find junior people that is able to relate to them. 1 or 2, 3 layers above. So that is the key. So communication, one of them.
Connection.
Charisma. Then next will be is that whether do you have the character? How do you build up the character of the person?
Wow.
Yeah. So that is a few C words.
Oh, this one is so charisma. Let's talk about communication and charisma. Born or built?
Born, but can be nurtured to be better.
Okay.
So interestingly, I've invested almost about 80,000 the last 2-3 years on communication and communication learning. I pick coaches myself.
Yeah.
30,000-40,000 a year.
Yeah.
Just regional top speakers that's able to speak to inspire.
Yeah. Wow.
So I myself, I wanted to reach the next level. Because for me, my main problem is articulation. Like what you say, we can't speak very good English, but we can get a topic across. But if we can speak well, then we can command a better outreach, can better command a better influence.
Connection, built or born?
Connection is built.
Yeah.
Connection is born. Because you have to have the heart to be willing to connect.
That's what I feel. So it's like people will excuse a lot of things, right? If they know that at least you give a shit, like you care. But if they feel like you don't care, right, then we have a problem.
Correct. So that's a very interesting thing. I always tell my associates in large event, I tell all my top managers, don't talk to me. I see you every week. Melvin, can you go away? Can I talk to the people that I seldom communicate on a day-to-day?
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, then on D&D dinner event, can you leave an empty seat for me in every table?
Oh, wow. Oh.
Yeah, that's for us and all the leaders to really take turn to sit down and really talk to the people. So I tell a lot of leaders in my mentoring program, make big organizations feel small. Because when when you're important, when you feel that, when you make them feel that you're important and you really care, you connect with them, at big event, you should be talking to more people that you don't see on a day-to-day basis.
Wow. Absolutely brilliant. Last one, character. So how do you bring out their character and help them make switches? Because sometimes when people join you, they are young, they might have the drive, but they also got a lot of issues. Okay, so they got a lot of issues, but no one comes to you as a polished diamond. Actually, if they come to you as a polished diamond, then what work you have to do also? So they come to you as a diamond in the rough. So they got potential, right? Because we filter for potential. We see okay, they got some traits that are successful. But at the same time, everybody comes in with some traits that are maybe a bit self-sabotaging. Okay, the guy come in, he's a great salesperson, but loves to drink a bit too much. He comes in, but he's got some issues in his life. But sometimes they go through a hard time in childhood, etc. So they got some issue. How do you help them polish out those issues and bring out so they got more strengths and not be self-sabotaged?
Interestingly, this is a topic about thinking in reverse. That means some people are self-sabotaging themselves. Maybe I'll give the audience a bit of background. I was previously a compulsive gambler. Okay. So the way to set people free in high-level coaching and mentoring is to differentiate the person and the person's action. So I give you an example. Raymond Lim, the gambler, please stay away. But Raymond Lim himself is very nice. So when I condemn a person, I condemn the person on the action, but not on the person.
Wow.
So when you don't condemn the person, you condemn the action.
Is that church? Is that like church? I love it, man. Oh my God. Wow. This is, you can say that's beautiful. So you condemn the action and the conduct that is not positive, but then the purity of the person, the essence, you want to use the word soul, whatever, that person is pure, but it just happens to have bad habits.
So when they feel loved, they feel connected, they just need to apply a right action. So being a right action is not being lazy, being on time, being hardworking, being willing to show up, being willing to say no. So interestingly, training people to say no now is the toughest one of the toughest and most important.
Oh my God. Oh, geez. So, especially say no to, it's not just say no to other people. It's sometimes to say no to yourself and your bad habits also. Like compulsive social media scrolling and da. Because I think like just to sidetrack a little bit, there's so many things in society now because life is getting too easier. And there's so many things that have been designed to distract, to compulsively get people addicted also. So as a person that teaches marketing, you got apps and you got all these things to drive people away. Like YouTube's goal is not to educate you. YouTube's goal is to keep you on YouTube for as long as possible.
The viewer time.
Yes. So all websites are designed to be addictive also. So people need to know how to say no to bad influences, people or things. And you have to say no to like, some of these things and block out like software and websites and different things and be able to focus and do the work that they ought to do. So I absolutely agree. Teaching people how to say no. Last time people need to learn how to say yes because they were too fearful. Now people need to say like no.
Yeah, too many choices.
Too many distractions. Wow. Let's talk a little bit about, did you ever sit down and design the core values of your organization and design the culture of your organization? Because culture is super important. Like, how was that process like?
I pick up a handful of 5 to 6 people that is long enough in the organization and also prominent in the organization and set up this understanding about culture and also team name. The agency name that I name up is not under my name because the ownership belongs to everybody. So I always believe my role is to be succeeded. In fact, my role now is already be succeeded. I don't run the organization anymore. So we hand over to leadership that is stronger. And many times, if you can get the right people with the right values, they will grow together. So there's a difference between value system and belief system. So you must find people that is right value system with a right belief system to grow together. Can I give you an example?
Please dive in. For some of the people watching, they say, sound like the same. What's the difference between value and belief system? I thought it's all the internal stuff. What's the difference?
Okay, so example, we talk about this topic called filial piety. So you are filial piety, I value filial piety. But the way your belief system is that you must stay with your parents to be filial.
Oh, yeah.
My belief system is I just need to provide. I don't need to stay with them. You understand where I'm coming from? So although we are connected by the same value system, but we are different because of different belief system. So that's where the conflicts come.
Yeah, the conflict come because we want people who largely have the same value and belief also.
Yes.
Then we start to create right and wrong. You don't say your parents, you bet. You bet. Oh, then people are like, this is not bad. Like, this is the way it is. Then now you have issues.
Correct. So you need to shape. In long term, you have to shape people because we are connected because of same value system, but we split or we differ because of belief system. So that's where the alignment of belief system is important, not alignment of value system.
I think, would you say you've been lucky to start on the right foot with value and belief system? So you got a whole bunch of people that are aligned? Or would you say that along the way you had to kind of like self-discover, then shape? Because I ask this question, because sometimes if you're not very clear, and the reason I want to do podcasts like this, right, is because when you're not clear, you recruit and gain a lot of not very aligned people. Then as you get clearer and clearer, you start to realize, hey, shit, man, half of these people should not be here. And then I think I recruited the wrong people. But unlike a Starbucks, where you can just fire people and say, hey, tomorrow you don't come. It's not as easy. So did you start out correctly? Or did you not start out correctly, then had to readjust?
I did not start out correctly. I adjusted.
Then how to adjust? It's tough.
13, 14 years ago, I actually encouraged half my team to leave. And many of them are part-timers. A few of them are property agents who are doing both sides. Challenging. And if you manage part-time people, it's not going to move far. So example, the army marches to the slower speed of the last soldier.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. Oh my God. The army marches. Say that one more time.
The army marches to the speed of the slower soldier.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so you need to know, especially if you are about 10, 20 people, the next people that you bring in, is it going to be above the average?
Wow.
If it's not going to be above the average, you have to watch out because that's where you're going to have more problem. So you need to assess as a whole. Yeah, but at small, then maybe there's not much needed as a selection. at the start.
So you encourage half of them to go, because you just found they were culturally not very aligned.
Because they don't turn out for meetings on time. They have a lot of excuses and stuff. So you largely can't run a productive meeting and team. Yeah, you can't. Correct. And interestingly, I always ask, will people put money and lots of money in a part-time bank?
Oh my God. That is true.
Yeah,
that is
so
very true.
that's where,
That is absolutely true. For some of the leaders watching this, and then afterwards they get fired, shit, man, I think like at least 30%, 20% of my team, because of my lack of clarity before, not very aligned. What are your suggestions?
So
we salvage, or we just ask them, hey?
You should strategize. Sometimes you may need to ask them to leave immediately. Sometimes you may need to plan. I always feel that the best time to really do planning is the start of the year. Changes. The best time to do changes is where there's changes. Yeah, so changing a calendar year, shifting office, having a new initiative. So the best time to implement changes is that when there's changes. So you let the changes go in one go, and then you implement and move.
I think they have to be courageous also.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I think that's when we need to have a saying, which is to let the facts and numbers speak. So if a person has been around for 3-4 years and they've been given ample opportunity and they still have proven by their behavior and conduct and results that, they cannot perform, then you say, would giving someone like this another 2 more years work? They already got 3 years and 4 years. It's like, this soccer player kick 3 seasons already, still never scored. Say, never mind, we give you 2 more seasons. I say, bro, I would look at the fact that they had 3 seasons and make a value judgment upon that. And sometimes we just got to admit, whatever I want for this person as a leader might not be what they want for themselves.
True. Sometimes it's also wise to say statements like this. They may not be not suitable for the business, but they may not be suitable for your leadership.
Exactly.
So you must be willing to let them go.
Yes, in sports, some of the players, they leave this one team, they go another team.
They play well.
Good for you. It's like, for whatever reason, it didn't seem to work very well here. But, if you go on and do great, then I'm happy for you. That one is fantastic. I really believe so. So we have covered leadership. We have covered just being able to be clear and connect and all these things. Let's talk a little bit about the word culture. How do you keep culture? So how do you build culture first? How do you maintain culture? So I find this is pretty deep conversation. So first one, you need to build. I think everyone understands that. Love to hear your thoughts. Next one, is I always see that problems come up when people start making money. And that's where culture starts to shake also. Because I actually think about this, and in sports teams also. If we are failing or winning, which one causes more problems? The answer is actually winning. Because if we fail, you bully, I bully. Actually, we find a lot of ways to work together. But then the moment we start winning, then you start thinking, hey, I score more goals. But I say you don't score any more, I pass. Now we each try to see who take more credit. So how do you build first, and how do you sustain?
I learned this from some Chinese courses. The organization leader must be strong in how to manage profits and fair for everybody. So I give example, when we have a new agent who come to us, probably at overriding at the early stage, we make a lot of money. But over the years, as they progress to a director with high overriding, if they feel that they are still suppressed by you, they won't grow. So at the same time, the culture of the organization and the system, the top leader should be able to know how to distribute profits. So that means the person that is most hardworking, most willing, most able should make more money in the organization. So this is number one. Number two is in the cultural understanding, just now you talk about money. Yeah. Money is a multiplier of a base character.
Oh, wow. Deep.
So if a person is generous, the more money they have, the more generous they be. If a person is calculative, the more money they have, they'll be more calculative. So money don't change the base character. Money brings out the base character. So we as organization, we must be able to understand. So example, challenges will be you have top leader that you cannot trust.
Oh, wow.
You have people you can trust but cannot be top leader. So what are you going to do with them? So a lot of these things you have to really sit down and ask yourself, in organization structure, how do we be able to hold these two types of people together and yet allow the organization to grow? So for me, my culture is, because I myself, I does a lot of parenting talks. I do a lot of parenting. I study a lot on parenting.
Oh, wow.
So for me, my main culture that I connect with people that is married and married with kids.
I see.
Yeah, so I largely work well with them. But a lot of my partners are successful entrepreneurs like you, successful entrepreneurs like Oriel. But the teammate I had, I connect best with people who are married kids. So I always ask myself, do they first want to become a good parent themselves?
Oh,
so
wow.
that is the first thing I look for.
Yeah.
So that's the first desire. Then the second desire, do they want to provide more for the family? So this is the way I do selection in terms of teammates. So this is how in broad base.
Wow. And I think at the end of the day, like your vibe attracts your tribe. Like, because, you are in this space, you attract this kind of people also. And I think in a way, like, they resonate with you also. Here's a person who's Christian, here's a person who's married, here's a person who values family, here's a person who wants to go places. It's like, it's a natural fit.
Yeah, so that's where the few circles are. Then you find the circles that's in the center.
Yeah.
Because usually you have two circles. So for me, I want people to see me as a successful entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And then I want people to see me as a committed parent.
Yeah.
So I look for people in the center.
Wow.
So that's the core. Then the second core will be either on the left or the right.
I think this is good. And I think also this answers the question that some people have in the area of like recruitment also, right? Because at the end of the day, if you know who you attract, then you know where to find.
Yes.
Right? Because I think a lot of people, they ask the recruitment question, but they are like, it's like they think like that. People say, hey, I want to go and meet members of the opposite sex. I say, members of the opposite sex are in all sorts of places. Library also have. A nightclub also have. Church also have. What kind you want? I also don't know. Then I cannot help you. Like what kind of people you want. But in order to know what kind of people you want, you must also know what kind of people you are. Correct? Because let's say you have a lot of vices. Then maybe people at church don't want to hang out with you. So you need to look in the mirror and go, what kind of person I am? Because what kind of person you are the people that you will attract. And once you know who you are, you know who you attract, then you know where to find. And how to recruit them also. Will you say that's accurate?
I would say it's accurate. The key thing question, if you cannot answer what's your target market, you must first answer who do you want first.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, because you may not know what you want, but it will be wise for you to know what you don't want.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
Yeah. What kind of things do you not want?
So for me, I value cohesiveness. I value people with integrity. I value people who are committed. So for me, is I repel people in long term. I find that I can't see these values. Or sometimes in a conversation, they have very different value conversation. So example, I ever sit down with some leaders that wanted to join my organization. They ask me, what's the money that you can give me? That's the first question.
That's usually a bad sign.
Yeah, that's a bad sign. So to me, I will reach the end of the conversation very soon. Yeah, because that's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, so I also prefer not to waste the other person's time.
Yeah. Because we don't say whether this core value is good or bad, just that whether this core value is something I want to subscribe to and align with also, right? If they put money first, then you go and find a person that put money first, then it's fine, right? But then if we are here and we are putting like culture and impact and many other things first, then if they put money first, then you can predict that, it's not going to.
Yeah. So in the area of culture, I find it's good to learn a bit of role modeling. That means the best way to learn now is actually to role model. That means you look up to someone that you want to learn how you build the organization like this. So for me, on an annual basis, I pick 3% I want to role model.
Wow.
Example, someone that is a fatherly character, I want to role model. Someone that is a business character that I want to role model. Then someone that is a good communicator and a stage presence.
Wow.
So these 3% have not changed in the last 3 years, 3 to 5 years. I've been learning. That means in the area of this sector, what I want to learn.
Wow.
And stuff. So that's where the fastest way to learn.
Wow.
The fastest way to learn. Many of us are not clear. That's why they are not able to learn the skill set that will make them grow.
I think this is absolutely brilliant. Let's, as we are approaching the hour mark, let's talk a little bit about what are some of the best recruitment strategies. We save this to the end as opposed to talking at the start, right? Because recruitment is kind of like marketing or even like communication. Because when I coach people on communication and even writing, a lot of people say, hey, my communication is not good. And I say sometimes, hey, I don't think your communication is bad. Because communication is a factor of thinking. So if your thinking is confused, your communication is confused. Yes. Because this is the outer, this is the inner. So a lot of people say, hey, how come my communication is confused? I say, because your thinking is confused. Actually, if this is clear, this is clear. So we keep recruitment to the end because I think it's very hard to go out there and market and recruit if everything else that we mentioned is not clear. You are not a good leader. You don't know where this organization is going. No core value. This whole thing is a mess. No wonder the recruitment is a mess also. Because this is messy. This is messy. So we fix everything you mentioned. Then the recruitment and the marketing becomes a good representation of everything good that is inside. Will you say?
Yes, it's true. Yeah, because the ability to articulate what your thought is a skill.
Yes.
So many of them, like what I said, they have distorted thought how you communicate.
Yeah, you are going to complicate this.
And if the words that come out from your mouth doesn't bring certainty and clarity, people find it very hard to join. Especially that's how we talk about quitting the $5,000 job to join you.
And I think it's not just for 1 year. It's actually easier to get money than people do. Because when they join you, they give you their life. They give you their future. And also if they're family, then they are betting or hinging their family's future on like this connection with you. Whereas money is like, okay, never mind, I gave him 5K, it's gone. But now it's like, okay, cool, the next 20 years of my life is with Raymond. This is actually a much higher sell.
Yeah, correct. So many at times also rely on the way how the candidate answer you for decision making process. So example, everything you ask in 2 or 3 sessions, they mention they need to ask their wife, they need to ask their friends and stuff. They have no opinion of themselves. That doesn't make good candidates also.
Oh, yeah.
Because ultimately the person's determination to do well is most important. So example, if all your peers say that you don't do well, but you want to do them well, then it's good. But if all your peers say that you will do well, but then you still doubt yourself, then you are no good.
Yeah.
So many at times, I want to hear the candidate, will they have a very strong opinion and decision making on themselves? Because it's their best bet on themselves. Because how hard you want to work, your friends are not going to work for you. Your parents not going to do the calling for you, not meeting the appointment for you. So it's about how hard you are willing to work.
I understand. Let's talk about some of the most effective or so-called highest converting recruitment strategies that you have observed.
I would feel that now in my organization, I does all sort of strategy.
Yeah.
But I find that now the key thing in recruitment is how to get people to know you, hear you, and see you before you meet them.
Oh,
that's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah.
So that's the key now in every format of recruitment that you do, be it whether going to be referral, be it whether going to be direct assessment or cold. Does people know you? Does people hear from you? Does people see
name,
you?
face, say like, yes. I recognize this guy. Watch your video before. Like,
Yeah. So that's the interesting thing. I go for interviews. I no longer give name cards anymore. I go for events and networking. I don't even give name cards anymore.
Yeah.
Because people know you for who you are.
Yeah.
Correct. They don't need a name card. Your publicity is your name card. So I believe if people want to find you, they will know.
It is the same. I was at a NAS summit recently also. Then I was like, I even felt weird when people start giving me name card. Because I was like, I don't know what to do with this also. Because over there, people are exchanging social media. They follow each other. And, people are like, hey, I recognize you not from my name card or even my website. They recognize me from the content, the ads, and different things also. So I think that's the digital name card these days. When I have people give me an actual name card, I also don't know what to do.
Yeah, you don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do. I say, why not just input your... So we exchange like WhatsApp, we exchange social media, we exchange those things. And I think the brand name, face recognition, or even content recognition, right? I recognize your brand. Hey, you 听过嘞. The name, oh yeah, you are that guy. Oh, the face, hey, I see your face before leh. Or content, I watch your stuff. Those are so critical. BNFC, brand name, face, content recognition, more important than the fact that I give you a logo.
But if you don't do that, whether you do call, you do referral, it's going to be less effective because people don't know you. Yeah. And when people don't know you, people don't get attracted to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I think we can at least continue this conversation for at least 2 or 3 hours long because it's the depth of the experience that you have kind of gone through. And I want everyone to kind of realize also that, there are a lot of things that Raymond says. He says very fast. But as a person who understands what he says, right, there's a lot of depth to that one or two sentences. It sounds like, oh, there's something nice to hear, but there's a lot of wisdom behind it also. There's a lot of wisdom, so I really encourage you guys to rewatch this also. Let's end with 2 questions. The first one is, what does it mean to be a financial services director, leader, after you've gone through this journey for so long? What does it really mean? Like if someone asks you, hey, so 20 plus year journey, like what's it about?
I think the key thing is that I enjoy what I do. And I don't know whether would you call it as passion. So when passion meets the ability to earn, then that's where it's powerful. Because many at times, a lot of us feel that being passionate need to love every day of what you do, which is not true. But in long term, you must, but not on a daily basis. So on a daily basis, I sometimes find challenging in my current work. But the question is, if you feel that you know the end goal, then that's where you can grow. You can grow to the end outcome you want to be. So example, for me, I myself, I enjoy seeing people successful. Because for me, as I mentioned, I was a compulsive gambler. I don't have money in my early 20s. And today I ask myself, I have much more, then why can't I become happier myself? So how can I raise people that is very like me in the past to be more successful? So today now, I no longer run for money. I run for purpose. So when the purpose comes, the money will come. The money will come. The money will come. Second thing about how you really want to be able to grow is to be able to grow to a bigger self. To grow to a bigger self. Yeah.
Wow. Those are really, really amazing also. I think my final question is, if a leader is watching this and they are like inspired, how exactly should they find out about your content and like, what do you do these days for leaders?
I run a coaching and training program. I would really reach out to the leaders who are interested to learn. It's all about finding a suitable mentor.
Yeah.
I may not be suitable for everybody. I don't think you will be suitable for everybody. But if you find that you are stuck and you are searching for the next level of growth, I find you should really search for that person. And search for the person that can connect with you, and best that the person can become a role model to you. Because you can role model to you, then you can learn much faster. Can learn much faster, because the fastest way to learn is to learn from a role model.
Yeah.
And that's where you will grow much faster.
And also someone who can look at, pinpoint many of the things you're doing wrong,
the blind spot,
or fill in the gaps of knowledge also. I think those are very
important. In leadership and agency management, every year there's only 1 or 2 things to do. You don't need so many things. You only have 4 quarters, you probably have 4 things to do. Because there are only 4 quarters. So 1 big goal, 1 big KPI, and then 4 actions in 4 quarters. You don't need so many things. So example, many of us, maybe if you really want to grow, it's about how you raise your average income of your existing agent. Don't even talk about recruitment. Because you cannot raise your income of your average existing agent, the next people coming going to suffer.
Yeah.
So that's 1 thing you need to do first, maybe before recruitment. And if maybe some of you here, maybe you need to learn how to speak better. Maybe you need to know how to make decisions much better. So you need that 1 or 2 things in that 1 or 2 years.
Wow. So for everyone watching, right, you can follow and check out Raymond. Where can they find you?
They can find me on LinkedIn, IG, Raymond Lim. My company name is RL Consultancy.
RL Consultancy.
Yeah, RL Consultancy.
Yeah, I really, if you guys are watching, be sure to check out Raymond's stuff. I think he has a lot of wisdom. I think it's not just like tactics, right? So I like to break it down. As a person that has been in this field, for 17 years, in just a few more years is 2 decades or so. So the difference between tactics, you got people that say, hey, here's how you DM people to get them to come and join you. That's true. You can get their attention, but whether you want to join is a different thing, right?
Yeah.
There's tactics, then there are principles, and then there's like wisdom also, and wisdom comes from having done this for a long time, and then you see how the game is played, right? And I think, just hearing you share for this hour is just a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, thanks. Maybe I add on one last thing. Till date now, a lot of my recruitment is I do not do the first interview of the person. The person was already interviewed by some other companies or industry or even organization.
Yeah.
So I have an easy job. So actually many of us who at the first onset, they cannot convince the person to join them. They can convince the mindset of the person, but they cannot convince the person to join them.
Yeah.
So in current times, many of my successful candidates have already been interviewed by other people. So we have the easy job because we don't even need to present career.
Oh, wow.
It's about just giving the person clarity and answer straight to the point. We can hook the person in.
The hard work of presenting the career, but not the good work of like aligning and persuading and convincing them why they are the best candidate. They serve as a contrast to you.
Yeah.
So it's like you do the heavy work But then I take over from here. So 0 to 10, they do the 0 to 7 part. But they miss at the 7 to 10. Then you just come in and be like, well, let's contrast what the other guy has done. So let me bring you from 7 to 10.
Yeah, so a very interesting question is about what's the missing tree? So you always ask people like 1 to 10, 7 want to join, then what's the missing tree? So when you are able to find a gap, you can make really strong conversation short. And to really do well in recruitment, it's all about sticky follow-up. Sticky follow-up. Yeah, most leaders don't excel in sticky follow-up.
I think we should leave this as an open loop, right? For the next time we have this conversation, we should bring Raymond back, guys. So if you watch this, you get a lot of value. You can comment inside the chat, right? And then see if we can do a second follow up. So we have to keep this to an hour because we booked the studio for like an hour. But I suspect if you guys have enjoyed this, then after that, can bring Raymond back and we can chat like even longer. So, but I really enjoyed.
Thanks.
The conversation.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
And once again, a couple of things to do before we wrap. Number one, please follow Raymond on all the social medias. And number two, please subscribe to the channel, follow along, interview more amazing leaders also, and hopefully add more value to you on your recruitment, management, leading, coaching journey so that your team can be very successful. Until next time, take care. Melvin signing out.
Bye.